What's going on? This is Polo Kerber. You're tuned into Advance and Win, the show where we talk with athletes about how to raise your game beyond the lines. We got national champion, Naismith Player of the Year finalist, Big 12 Player of the Year, Jalen Wilson. We have with us national champion and two-time NBA champion, Kansas Jayhawk legend,
Bring me.
Mario Chalmers.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Appreciate you coming on, bro. So, season just finished for you guys. Didn't go the way that you hoped, but individually, crazy season that you had this year. Talk about what it was like being part of the first team All-American, All Big 12, and Big 12 Player of the Year.
I think it was a huge blessing having the opportunity to come back to school. I had the option last year to go, but decided me coming back to school would be great. And, it turned out to be the best thing that I could do, especially with watching a guy like Ochai last year, seeing him do the same things. I just felt like me coming back for another year, not trying to rush the process at all, being patient, obviously was the best decision I could make. And, all the awards and stuff like that were great.
So obviously you guys had a tough loss with Arkansas, but you had an epic career at Kansas. What was going through your head after that last game? We talked about it before we started, that you got that last jersey in your room right now. What was that like when you realized it was over?
Kind of just all the years went through my head a little bit. Understanding I'd never play again with that jersey kind of hit me like as I was walking out. Yeah. That's when all the emotions started coming. But, I was sad for a while, but then after I just looked at everything that I was able to accomplish with all the teams that I had, I was happy.
Looking back at your time in Kansas, what are you going to miss the most?
The fans, for sure. Just the love in Lawrence is second to none. And the support they give us through games and just walking down the street, being nice, all the kids, stuff like that is, stuff that I never wanted to take for granted. I always want to cherish that, especially this last year. Understanding that I wouldn't have too much of it and that it would fly by, and it did. So.
What made you choose Kansas? You had offers to like Baylor, Michigan, UNC. Yeah. What stood out about Kansas that made you want to go there?
Just the history. That's all a part of the school. Me wanting to be a part of that as well, wanting to build to it. Obviously, Coach Self is a huge part of it, him being a Hall of Fame coach that he is. So me having the opportunity to learn from him, get better, and also, have a championship opportunity in front of me. Not a lot of schools can offer that.
Right.
And that's something that, we strive for every single year at Kansas.
If you could go back in time, take any Kansas player and put them on your team currently, in their past year, who would you want to play with?
Oh, in their prime. Oh, I'm taking Will.
I'm taking Will.
Yeah,
no, that's.
I don't really see how I can lose with him.
Right. No,
he's a different kind of guy.
That's back-to-back daddies for sure. Okay, is there a Jayhawk? You going to the NBA obviously now. Is there a Jayhawk that you would want to team up with when you get there?
Oh, there's a lot. I'm gonna leave Oach and CB out since I just play with them. I probably say like a big man like Joel. Yep. It's always good. I feel like every championship team has a good big man, and he's obviously at an MVP level. So why not play with an MVP guy that can help me get better and stuff like that?
Who would win in a game between your team and the 08 Mario Chalmers national championship team?
Oh, I argue with this all the time with him. I'm always gonna take my team. I think we got bigger guards. We went down the list of matchups, and I just wasn't seeing how we was losing. I feel like we was not like we was more versatile, but I just felt like we seen a lot. Right. Although the Final Four did have all number one seeds, which is pretty tough to do, and they had to be like Steph Curry, Derrick Rose. I mean, they killed North Carolina by like 30. But I don't know, being down 15 and a half in the national championship game ain't easy. So if you ask them, I asked him if he think they could do it, and he was saying, we wouldn't even be in that position. So, but I'm gonna take my team for sure. I like my squad.
What do you think that game would look like? Give me maybe like a score outcome. Do you think y'all would win? Would y'all lose? How you feel about that? His team last year, his national championship team versus your national championship team.
Man, we beat them by 20.
By 20?
Plus.
20 plus.
We was a different team. We was a different caliber of guys. We had 7 people off that team touch the NBA.
Right.
Like 4 of us got drafted, and then everybody else touched the NBA. So I was just saying, like,
I feel you.
it's no comparison.
Who do you think will win between you and Mario one-on-one?
Mario. He be practicing with us sometimes when he comes to Lawrence. And
Right.
my thing is, I'm just not gonna play with him. I'm gonna go to the paint because he still can shoot. He's still crafty. He still can play. I don't know how old he is, but he still got game. But I'm just gonna go to the paint with him. I ain't even finna play with him out there on that perimeter.
So. You got to use that size, bro.
I have to. Got to use my advantage. So
he said he's big. He's 6'8". He's not playing around. He's just taking you to the paint the whole time. Who do you think will win in that matchup?
I mean, it's gonna take you more than 3 dribbles to get me to the paint. So I mean, like,
so three dribble max one-on-one.
What's the rule? I mean, if we playing real NBA ones, you get 3 dribbles.
Right.
You're not supposed to be up in 3 dribbles.
Right.
And if you want to play playground rules, you still not supposed to be up. Like,
right.
If that's your game plan to beat me, that's your go-to.
Okay. that was his game plan.
Right. You playing into my hands.
What would be your advice to the teams left, the final 4 teams left in the tournament? What would your advice be to them?
One is never over. I was down 15 and a half and found a way to win. So it's never over. And I would say just cherish the moment. I look back and still can remember seeing all the people on the court and seeing how much fun it was. But it doesn't happen too often.
Right.
And it's hard to do. So even making the Final Four is a huge accomplishment, having this stage. But just soak in all of this because, one, it goes by so fast because it's only, a 3-day, 4-day segment. And, like I said, it doesn't happen too often.
My main advice is just enjoy the moment. For these guys, there's a lot of teams that hasn't been there before. The first time in school history, that they get to be in the Final Four and get a chance to play for a national championship. So enjoy the moment. You never know when this moment's going to come again. You know how hard you had to work to get to this moment. So, leave it all on the court and just, live with the outcome.
So you personally had one of the most iconic shots in the history of March Madness and the national championship. So what was that like, and how many times have you watched that back?
For me, that was just a legendary moment. Not only for me, but for the university, for my family. To be in a position like that, you only could dream of that. And to actually have it come true, and not only come true, but be successful in that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those moments where it's unreal.
Get the right oil and the right filter for the right price every day at Advance Auto Parts. Advance Auto Parts makes it simple to build your oil change bundle in-store, online, or using the Advance Auto Parts app. If you need help, their expert team members are always available to assist drivers like you get back on the road as soon as possible. So when you're ready to change your vehicle's oil, remember that Advance Auto Parts is the place to build your bundle. Right oil, right price, right filter, every day, only at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. You have, I think, 2 of the longest shots in NBA finals history. Mm-hmm. You have that shot. High school, you won on every level. Where would you rank your national championship in your career of great moments?
It's top 2 for sure. It depends what day you ask me. I think about that Kansas time, and it for me, it meant more just because I was really part of that moment. I hit the shot. I was at the university where, basketball started, and it meant more to that school to have a championship in 20 years, to make some history for the school that's going to last forever. So it's right up there with the NBA championship. I mean, NBA championship's the highest level. That's the level you want to get to. That's where you dream of being. And, to be there and win, that's always a dream come true, too.
Is there one of your championships that mean more to you on the NBA side?
Definitely. The San Antonio one means more to me just because everybody know how that series went. If it wasn't for Ray Allen hitting that shot, CB getting that rebound, we would have never had that ring. So, with key plays, key moments, that I still to this day say that Game 6 was the hardest basketball game I ever played in my life. So that's definitely mean more to me in that one.
So go back to the championship. You guys step off that bus. What is it like going back onto campus after you guys won that natty?
It's not even real. It's insane. We had a parade like the next couple of days later. It was like over 100,000 people there. Wow. You could just see how happy everybody was, and not only for us, but like I feel like everybody got a piece of the championship. Everybody the fans, they felt that, and they felt like we all won, and that was the most important thing. Like, just the love and everything that everybody showed after we won was something that I never could imagine. And even before, understanding what it took to win, but once you do it, you realize how important it is.
You talk about that bus ride. Every team has something different that they do on the bus. How do you guys pass that time?
We really just be talk about what we did, maybe like the week before or something like that. We was all big on just having fun and laughing, for real.
Right. And like, you're the man, just hit the shot, y'all won the national championship. You probably had to go to class after that. Like, what was that like?
Nah, that's the crazy part. I didn't have to go to class. I try to go to class. For me, Kansas is Kansas. It loves basketball so much, so it's just like stepping off that bus and having a national championship with us. Not only did the town go crazy, the city went crazy, the state went crazy. They canceled school for everybody to go to the championship game. So it was just a lot going on. Enjoyable moment. And, I had a lot of fun. Like I said, I tried to go to class, and my teacher called the coach, was like, yo, Mario's too much of a distraction. Because I would have lines of people outside at the door waiting for me to sign the Sports Illustrated that just dropped. And I had even a couple kids come in during class like, yo, can you sign this real quick? And teacher's just like, yo, get out of here, class. And I'm like, so they said I was too much of a distraction, and, I had to go do study hall, meet with my tutors to get my work done. So it all worked out. I was preparing for the draft anyway, so it kind of went hand in hand.
Going to the NBA draft, obviously, who would you compare yourself to that's currently in the NBA right now?
Currently in the NBA, maybe like I like the way Mikal Bridges actually plays, like a bigger wing, stretch the floor, can guard a lot of positions. So I'd probably say him. I like that.
Are there any players in college right now that remind you of you?
Not off the top of my head. I didn't really watch enough college basketball like that this year.
Right.
Just been being overseas a little bit. So,
or even like young NBA players.
Nah, because the NBA is so much different. Them guards get to shoot.
Right.
Like, they get to let it fly. I had to wait for a shot. So it's a different ball game. But, it's still good to watch. It's fun to watch.
Going back to 2008 March Madness, who was your favorite matchup that you went up against?
Favorite matchup would definitely be, I had three that year. Villanova was one, Davidson, and then North Carolina. I don't know if people know the Villanova story, but that was one of the moments where I think it was my sophomore year, me and Sharon Collins, we tried out for the Team USA. Right. And, everybody was telling me I'm one of the top guards there, that I should make it, And Jay Wright picked Scotty Reynolds, which was his player, over me. So I had a little bitterness to Jay Wright and Villanova over that. But, so that game was personal to me. North Carolina, I grew up in North Carolina. I always wanted to be a Tar Heel. Everybody knew that about me. And then that situation happened with me not getting the scholarship that I wanted at the time I wanted. So I ended up at Kansas. And, that was it. Those were the three matchups. Davidson, of course, Steph Curry. Steph Curry was hot at that moment. Right. Cinderella story of the tournament. So, that was a good game, great game.
What was it like to go up against D Rose?
Which D Rose?
Championship D Rose.
I'm not gonna lie, that D Rose wasn't tough like the NBA D Rose. Right. Like, I think that D Rose, like, even though he still had the same game, it was like our defense, because we could stay in the paint. Right. So we could clog the paint a little bit, make him shoot jumpers. So that D Rose wasn't that. He was tough. Now, I'm not gonna say he wasn't tough, but he wasn't that MVP D Rose in the league that I had to guard. Like, I seen the total difference when that lane opened up and he by himself. Yeah, that's a whole different ball game.
So in that game, he's at the line, opportunity to go up 4. He misses the shot. What's going through your head at that time?
I told him before he shot the free throws, I said, don't miss a free throw. Y'all gonna lose. Right. And he kind of looked at me and just kind of ignored me. You know how he is. He don't really talk much. So, and then he shot that first one, kind of faded back. And I was like, uh-oh, that's all I needed. And then the rest is history after that.
Kansas won the Natty for the 4th time in school history last season. What can you say about the Jayhawks program? Like, why is it so special? Why is that organization able to keep winning and be so consistent with the success?
I think it has a lot to do with Coach Self. Coach Self is a player's coach. And, he always wants the best for his players. He's always going to try to put his players in the best situation to be successful. And once you have a coach like that cares more about you than he cares about himself, it's easy to go there and adapt to his system and still be you. And I think that's why he's getting the best of all the players that's coming to KU.
We talked about the possibility of your jersey hanging up, maybe being retired.
Yeah.
Kansas is a historic program. Who would you say are the top 3 Jayhawks ever?
I feel like you automatically got to say Danny because he got like every single record.
Right.
There's always like Paul Pierce, stuff like that, him. And if I had to think of one more, maybe I think Wayne Simeon has a lot of accolades too. Yeah. I think he was Player of the Year a couple times. So I'd probably just say them 3. And plus Wayne's my guy, so I got to throw him in there.
It's got to be Paul, Wilt, and Danny. Paul Pierce, Wilt Chamberlain, Danny May.
Jalen didn't have Wilt in his top 3. His dad was hot.
Who Jalen have in his top 3?
I can watch it. Yep. Yeah, he had Wayne in his top 3.
Wayne?
But I guess he was saying that like people don't really like talk about Wilt like that much.
Nah, they really
so
don't.
He doesn't like. Why do you feel like that is?
I mean, when did Wilt went to KU back in what, the 60s?
Yeah,
So it's like, you know what I mean? I definitely wasn't born then. Jalen definitely wasn't born then.
Right.
So it's like them stories, like you hear bits and pieces around KU, but it's not legendary like the Wayne Simeon stories.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about your championship team. If you could take any Kansas Jayhawk in the history of Kansas that you didn't play with and add them to your team, who would you want to play with? It could be after you played, before you played, either one.
Anybody?
Anybody.
Drew for sure. Drew Gooden for sure. That's my guy right there. Aaron Miles, maybe?
No Embiid?
Nah, because the thing about JoJo, he wasn't JoJo in college. He got hurt and he didn't really play.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He was a different character. Now, yes. Now I definitely take him on my team. I took Wayne Simeon.
Yeah. Okay, so move that to the NBA. Are there any Jayhawks that you wish you would have got to team up with while you were in the league?
Oh, yeah. Definitely Paul Pierce. I think that would have been a fun teammate just because we kind of trash talk the same way. Brandon Rush, that's been my best friend since we was 10. So, of course, I'd love to have been on his team. That's pretty much it. Drew, me and Drew almost played together in Washington. That would have been one, but never happened. So,
you were signed with Washington?
Yeah, Washington was supposed to draft me, matter of fact.
Wow.
And Cleveland. So, just never happened.
Yeah. You were talking about, before we started rolling, you were talking about boot camp week at Kansas. What's that like?
Hell. Best way to describe it. So, boot camp for us was be on the court, stretched, ready to go at 6 a.m.
Oh.
And it was from 6 to probably 7:30, almost 8. And the bad thing about, for me, my sophomore year, I had a 9 a.m. class. So imagine being up at 5, being at the gym by 5:30, being stretched and ready to go at 6, 2 hours of hell work, and then I got an hour to eat and get to class.
Yeah, that's tough.
I had to tell Coach Shuff, like, I can't make it today. Like, some days he'd just be like, look, just try to show up when you can. Right. But I know, because he put us through hell. But my junior year, funny story. So my junior year, the last day of boot camp is 6 days. So the last day is our conditioning test, which is 20 suicides, 10 17s, and something else. So if you're late, for every minute you're late, he adds on to what you already got to do. So I get through boot camp the last day, I oversleep.
Right.
So I get to the boot camp almost 20 minutes late. Bro, I had to run 60 suicides, 20 17s, and then some other type of sprints. I got all that done within an hour.
Yeah, that's I'm getting tired, bro, just listening to you talk about
I promise you call Coach up right now and ask him, like, that my junior year, I was in the best condition my whole life. And it was because I was late to boot camp.
Wow.
Like, my punishment helped me get to where I wanted to go, for real. So it kind of worked out, but that was no joke.
I feel it.
And the coach sat there and made sure I touched every line, like every line. He wouldn't let me play.
And did they give you like time you had to finish it in or like keep going? Yeah, that's tough. I got an asthma attack just listening to that story, bro.
And the coach even tried to help me out. He was like, yo, you only got 5 left. You want to stop? I was like, nah. Like, this is my punishment. Like, this only going to make me better. I was like, I came this far. So that was a little story about, if you do the trouble, make it up.
Yeah.
Don't
1,000%.
Yeah, just
you only shortcut yourself. That's what they say. So you were talking about even like the way that guards have changed and like Memphis D Rose and NBA D Rose. What's the biggest difference between like the college game and the NBA game?
Space. That's the biggest difference. I feel like space is a big thing, and I feel like in the league, coaches are a little bit more creative with their play calling and trying to get players buckets. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's like once these guards, especially as a guard position, once you come out that pick and roll, you see can't nobody stay in that paint for more than 3 seconds.
Right.
You like it's wide open. It gives you an option to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two biggest difference I see.
De'Aaron Fox said, like college basketball, he said he can't watch it like full because he said the refs are bad, the shooting is bad, the coaching is bad. Like, do you feel like that like now, or is it unfair to compare it because it's like professionals versus college? Like, how do you feel about watching college?
Like I said, I didn't watch a lot of college basketball year to give a fair assessment. Like, only time I was really tuned in was when the Jayhawks was playing.
Right.
And, we'd had the same system for forever. So,
right.
With those guys, I can see what he's saying. It do be, when they play certain teams, it do be bad basketball out there. But, for the most part, that's how it is. It's a learning to get to the next step.
Going back to Kansas, you were there for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Would you ever want to go back and be a coach?
At KU? Like a head coach?
Head coach. Well, I know who knows when Self is going to leave, but just just in general, or like, do you see that in your future?
It's an option. It's been talked about. Not the head coach, but me joining the coaching staff has definitely been talked about for like the last 2-3 summers.
Okay. What you holding back from, or what would make you take that leap to just go on and do that?
I can still play this game. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like I still get opportunities to go overseas and play. And it's like if I do lock in that coaching, I really got to hang it up and just shift my focus to developing players and what it takes to really be successful in that coach's atmosphere. So I think my biggest holdback is just me personally. That's the biggest thing.
With our sponsors being Advanced Auto Parts, do you remember what your first car was? What was your first car that you ever had?
This is a crazy story. So look, growing up in Alaska, it's a little bit different out there. I ain't gonna front. But my dad, love my dad to death. This man brought me a blue and gray Bronco. Ugliest car I've ever seen in my life.
Like the O.J. Simpson Bronco?
The smaller version.
Okay.
And I'm sitting in there, I'm like, come on, bro. This is my junior year of high school. And I'm like, yo, I just won Player of the Year in Alaska 2 times in a row. Like, I can't be seen with this. So, and he told me, he's like, only way you get rid of this car if you sell it. Like, bro, I'm 16. Sell a car. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So I figured out, I find somebody to buy the car. Boom. One of my homeboys bought the car eventually, like 2 months later. So then I double back. I go get me a Grand Jeep Cherokee, gray, champagne interior. I had some rims. I want to say they was 20s, but it might have been 10s.
In high school?
It might have been 10s. I kept them clean.
Right.
Kept them clean.
Right.
So, so I had that. That was my first. That was my baby right there. That was a car I love.
NBA's coming. What's your first big purchase going to be?
My first big purchase would probably be a car.
Okay. What's your dream car?
A G-Wagon.
G-Wagon?
G-Wagon, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what your first car was?
What was it, like a BM, like an old BMW, I think?
That's a good first car.
Yeah, I think it was like an older one of them.
My first car was like a Chevy Cavalier, I think. So
it was all right though. It was cool.
Right. So what color G-Wagon? You putting rims on it?
Green. I'm gonna get like olive green wrapped on it,
right.
And like black interior.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Black rims.
Did you have any crazy car purchases while you were in the league?
Not really. My one semi-crazy purchase was after we won the first championship versus OKC. I went and got me a Bentley. Was it GT?
Okay.
Yeah, I went and got me a Bentley GT, all white.
What was your first like big purchase when you even like made it to the league? Like, what was the first thing that you went out and got?
First thing I went and got, I got me a Super Mario chain. The same tattoo I got right here.
Right.
I had this on the chain, and you know, that was just my thing. Like, I'm a big Super Mario fan because of my name,
Right.
one. But growing up, that's all I played was Super Mario. So that was always my dream. When I first made it, I gotta get me a Super Mario chain.
It's a lot of guys that are in the finals, and it's their dream to get where you were at. What would be the advice that you would give them going on to that next step?
Going on to that next step is, you know, you got to find your niche once you get up there. You know, everybody's not going to be a greats like LeBron and them. Everybody's not going to be 3-and-D guys like, who's a good 3-and-D guy? Dorian Finley or people like that. So it's kind of like you just got to find your niche. What's going to keep you in the NBA? What's going to keep you at that level? And be open to learning new things. You know, don't be in there thinking you know everything. No matter who it is, either from a guy that's getting less minutes than you or a guy that's getting way more minutes than you. Just try to absorb all the knowledge that people are trying to share with you.
What way do you feel, you know, obviously you've grown into a man from high school at Kansas. What do you feel like you've grown the most?
Probably just my maturity. I'm 22 now, so I feel like, you know, at this age that I haven't seen it all, but I've seen enough in college to understand, you know, the do's and don'ts, and you know how to be a real adult, a real man. And I think college helped me a lot, especially with Coach Self, helped me become who I am today.
Right.
As far as, you know, coaching me hard and stuff like that. So probably just my maturity level, stuff like that.
You're part of the 4th national championship in school history. What is it about the Jayhawks and about Kansas that makes that school so prestigious and stand out from some of the others?
I think it's just that it's our expectation to win. I think a lot of schools may hope to win. We hope to do this and that, but we say all year that we're going to do this, going to do that. And every single time we break the huddle, it's Big 12 champs or Natty champs, stuff like that. I feel like once you say it enough and you live it, you actually practice. Manifest it and practice it. Those habits become real. And you see last year when we got to the biggest stage, it was kind of just like, you know, comfortability, just all those kind of things just came into play, and we went on the hoop.
Do you have a prediction for the national champion this year?
UConn's been playing good. I think they've beat every team with like 20 almost. So I don't know how you can count them out at this point.
Like a 90-point
win. I'm probably gonna have to go for them right now.
What I want to see, I definitely want to see from, you know, my Miami days playing with the Heat. I want to see a FAU and UM championship.
Boca versus Miami would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
I don't know if they could get past UConn, but I want to see it like so bad.
I know, it's kind of like UConn. You've been there before, like all these Cinderella teams in this UConn. It's kind of like, come on, bro, y'all.
Right.
I don't want y'all to throw the game, but like, come on, man. Let somebody else win for a change. And I think with UM and FAU, those two schools, especially UM, with it being a big football school with all the football history. It'd be definitely good to, you know, add a national championship down there.
I'm going to throw in one more question. What do you think that those teams need to do to get back here and be consistent and continue to get this far in the tournament and not just have this be a one-and-done situation?
I think the door is open now. Like, once you get there, you show that, you know, your style of play, your coaching staff can get you to that. Like, you let the players rock. I think the wins speak for itself. Now people are eyes open like, dang, FAU just go to the Final Four. Like, let me see what's up. So that's definitely just letting the work speak for itself.
All right, well, that's all I got for you, bro. I appreciate you coming on here. Sure. Appreciate you, you know, just rocking with us. Yeah. And, you know, congratulations on everything in school, and good luck on the next step.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Don.
Well, I appreciate you tuning in to Advance and Win with us. Thank you for tuning in. We got Mario Chalmers. I'm Polo Kerber. Peace out.
Peace.
Keep it going till it's raining confetti. I'm in the camera smiling cheese. Don't it look like some confetti?